Pizza time.
One, two, three, four, five, six, eight, two, three, four, five, six, eight, two, three, four, five, six, five, four, three.
Hello, and welcome to the 1,000 subscriber special. You can tell it's special because there's an actual budget this time. You may have already figured it out, but we're making pizza today. But we're going to be doing it a little bit differently compared to how I've seen other streamers and YouTubers do it. The big change is we're actually making our own fucking sauce. I have seen too many go, oh, we're doing pizza today, and then they just get that big old jar of store-bought sauce. Like, that's fucking disgusting. How dare you say we're gonna make pizza and then just get a jar of pre-done sauce? You're not making it at that point, because the sauce is like a big chunk of the equation. If you're not making one of the things, you're not really making it. This recipe was taught to me by my dad. I don't fully remember where he got it. I just know that I've been making it once a week for the past 5 years, and making it every so often for 5 years before that. And so I'm gonna teach you, because if you eat pizza often enough, this is cheaper than going out to Domino's or something. And as we all know, something economy, something bad, something raise bubbled. Look, you clicked on a pizza video. You don't want me to lecture you about the economy. You already get that enough in your daily life. Which is why if you look at my stock exchange, which, hey, that reminds me, subscribe, I guess. I don't know, maybe if you want, it'll help me out. Yeah, help me get monetized to deal with the economy. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for 1,000. Here we go. The first step of any pizza, as we all know, is taking a 5-part course on how to get tons of money. In other words, we're making some fucking dough. I would hope you have a stand mixer. If not, consider getting one, because these things are just useful. But that is a viable option. I don't know why people do that, when if you're doing it in a bowl, you can just, use a spoon or some shit. But if you do have a mixer, you're going to want to roleplay as Captain Hook. The dough hook, as it is professionally called. And the recipe that we will be using today is one that I think my dad got off either he got off the back of a yeast packet or looked it up online 10 years ago. This will be giving you a double batch. Son of a bitch. Don't do that.
I think I'll get a yeast infection in my lungs.
That would make sense. Snorting yeast gives you a yeast infection. When you open the yeast packets, make sure that you do not cut into it. Or if you do, make sure it's over the damn bowl. This will be a double batch, giving you 2 large, being 16 inches. We'll get to that later. Oh, I'm so proud of you. That must hurt. Anyway, it will give you about two large pizzas. So you want two packets or teaspoons of yeast, along with that drug that they raided the colonies for. Now for this double batch, you will be wanting 2 teaspoons, and then 2 cups, or it's 16 ounces if you are using non-American units of warm water. That's about 2 cups. One thing you will learn, especially when we get to the sauce, is that exact measurements are an option. I've done this enough times to where I just go a little this, a little that, fuck it. Now, we let that bloom for 5 minutes. If you don't know what let bloom is, I'll show you when it's done. Truly. This is bloomed yeast, once it's puffed up a bit.
Milky.
It does seem like that. When in reality, the sugar in the warm water is just awakening the yeast, making it alive again.
Sugar water.
That's all it takes to awaken a lot of people. Either in sexual fantasies or just waking up. Now we're going to need 5 cups of flour. It may seem excessive, it isn't. And no, you cannot snort this. This is being directed to the camera and the person behind it.
I think you could. I don't think you'd have a good time.
You can does not mean that you should.
Italy.
Extra virgin.
Dang.
Stop lying. Now we're going to need 2 teaspoons. Yeah, that's teaspoon. Jesus Christ. The autism. 2 teaspoons of salt.
Gotta relate to the audience. It's not for-
Hey, it's a cooking video. We could be getting old people in here, and they'll be very confused about what the fuck a casting couch is.
Someone. The ones that have tattoos don't know.
Those who know. And 4 tablespoons of me in liquid form.
Organic.
I mean, in a way, aren't we all organic? And mix that up until it becomes like a ball. Now, just in case you put in not enough water or not enough flour, so it's too moist or too dry, add the opposite. So if it's too wet, add a bit more flour. Too dry, add a small amount more water. A little water goes a long way. But it seems now that that's a pretty good dough ball. Should have prepared for this earlier, but I didn't. That just shows how good of a creator I am. Bowl.
How old is that movie? That looks older than me.
I think
It sounds old.
I think it is older than I am as well. All I know is that this specific one is not sold in the US anymore. It's a European brand. This is the modern American version with a motor, I think that's 750 and that's 350. Okay, now that it's fully mixed, that is what we call not enough flour. So I just add a bit in there, mix that, let it mix up and see how it turns out. Hey, it's got all that extra dough on there. Okay, that is still too wet, since it is sticking to the bottom. So, in this situation, just yeah. I told you there is not going to be exact measurements. If you use this as a cooking video, just write down the ingredients and then just copy the do as I say, not as I do type of thing. Yep, there we go. Thank you for completing my 5-part course on how to be a gazillionaire. We now have ball. And now we gotta let that rise. This is a quick rise recipe, so in theory, it will be ready in like 30 minutes. However, I've always found that the best rise you get after like 2 hours. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're just gonna turn on that light and let that sit there for a while. It's now time for part 2. The sauce. Everyone in the comments always asks for where's the sauce, where's the sauce, but not how's the sauce? How does it get prepared? Is it lamb? We are not doing white people cooking today. We have seasoning. So since this is going to be made for a bit more than just 2 pizzas, I'm going to be using an extra can of tomato sauce, but normally you just need 1 can of tomato sauce, 1 can of petite diced tomatoes, and last of the tomato stuff, 1 can of tomato paste, which normally you do need a can opener for.
Fancy ass can.
Yeah, I think we have a, we have a handheld one. You won't need a spatula to get it out, or I guess an icing spreader. I think that's what this is officially called. And after you put in the can of paste, you want to fill that can up with, doesn't really matter what type of water, just gotta put it in there. Dump it on in there. Not going to be like that for much longer. That was just for display purposes. I do have most of this shit up here. But looking in there now, that's going to be a pain in the ass because everything's all spread out. All right, time to get a knife.
Ooh, I thought you left the plastic guard on there and you were gonna stab full of paper. I was really concerned.
It is still. Right. The most holiest of seasonings. Italian. Just put it like a shit ton in there.
Delicious.
How does that taste?
Fucking terrible.
What the fuck did you expect?
I've dead ass fucking hot. That was worse. Dude. I don't know what the fuck they put in there, but
You said it yourself. The Pope.
it tasted like ashes.
Pope Leo, is that you?
They got the relics.
Still has to recover.
Alright, we're back.
You're also going to want some sugar to cancel out the acidity of the tomatoes. Around that much. Now, some pepper. Some garlic salt. Yeah, if you put in normal salt, you don't need nearly as much, but you still do need it for the garlic flavor. Some minced onion. Some garlic powder. And some onion powder. You want to give this one a try? Don't. Alright, now you thought that was it because that's all I had out. What if I told you I was hiding something? Into the fridge. We got some motherfucking cheese, some Worcestershire sauce, and last but not least, some more minced garlic. Once again, no exact measurements for any of these. Yeah,
A dash.
just a dash. Then you gotta stir all that up. This may look like a monstrosity, but it's all gotta sit in there.
Italian seasoning is my favorite.
It is the main source of flavor you will find. All right. Now that that is all stirred up, you gotta let it cook. Aside from, well, depending on how long you let this rise, this will be the main time consumer. So what you want to do is put a lid on there, put the burner that it's on around lowish. You don't want it to boil too fast. And you just gotta let that periodically, like just stir it periodically. Yeah, English. And with that, we're good for a minute. So it's been about 2 hours now. So the dough has risen. It's like Jesus, except this you can make multiple times. Jesus only came once.
This also tastes way better than the body of Christ.
Oh yeah.
So flavors are-
Bread, the cooler bread. Now, just because it's risen doesn't mean your job's done there yet. You're gonna need to knead the dough. To do that, you're gonna need to make a mess, as we all know. And that's why we sprayed the bowl, to get that out of there. So you're gonna wanna roll it in flour, get that all mixed in there. See how it's becoming slightly more firm? Now, time for a surgery. Since this is a double batch, as mentioned, you can get 2 doughs out of there. If you cut uneven before you roll it around in dough again, just slap that to the exposed side. Can feel around a bit, be able to see which is lighter or which is heavier, and can adjust accordingly. I think these are about even now. Now we can go ahead and throw this in the rest of the flour. They're around the same weight. Now you're going to need your pans. I don't know where we got these. I don't know how old they are. So I do know that they sell them at like Walmart though.
Pretty old.
They're old, but they've also just gotten a lot of use. Make sure you shake it up. And spray that sucker.
Think about the
Flavoring.
That's smoking cool.
Yep. Smoky flavor. That oven is actually powered by wood. What? Trust me. I'm a guy on the internet. I'm a white guy on the internet. I'd never lie to you. Alright. Now, you could do it by hand, or you could get help from dough roller, which hopefully you have. Hopefully you've pre-watched this and are not following along. If you are following along, I am so sorry.
Can't complete the rest of it. Let it go roll. This is what it falls out. I say as he completes the rest of it, then it's overall.
I mean, dough roller is good to get the final kinks ironed out. Them hands do this. Everyone asks what the tongue do, but never what the fingers can do. When arguably, the fingers are more versatile. Alright, we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, this one's a bit trickier. Sometimes you can get it with just your hands, sometimes not. Why'd I say that like kind of Boston-esque? Hey, your hands.
Bring in some action. Variety.
Now, boy, I tell you about the variety, you know?
How was that my
I've suppressed the southern accent so much that it sounds like a poor impression.
You locked it in a room and it's now finished.
Oh, yeah. Look, so, to me, southern accents sound dumb as hell.
I think they just are default were used to sound unintelligent in Hollywood for so long that it's just...
That, but also because, like, I mean, up until recently, that was kind of the truth. Apparently, Mississippi is now, like, above average in the U.S., so, that is still a very weird thing to think about. Gotta poke holes in there to make sure no air bubbles get out. You know, it just occurred to me that I have no idea how I'm gonna edit this.
You know what? Email it to yourself.
No, I know how I'm gonna get the footage onto my computer, but just like, I don't know how I'm going to format the video into something watchable.
This is so wild. What do you mean?
Okay, I know how it can be watched for entertainment. However, for the like probably 2 people that are here for the actual recipe.
Well, okay, you've already said it's more or less just eyeballing everything. Just put all of the ingredients in the front.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a ladle. About a scoop and a half, and you just want to lightly touch down on it and go clockwise all the way around there. Once you get there, you can go back and touch up a bit, but for the initial roll around, you want to keep going clockwise. I've seen so many people just kind of zigzag all over the place. It's like, yeah, that's one way, but it doesn't give it a nice even coating. Now, of course, what pizza is complete without fromage? Go ahead and get yours done. And yes, I said that correctly, his. Unlike most creators, I actually feed my cameraman. Now, cheese you can just put on however much you want. Really just depends on how lactose intolerant you are. But I tend to do...
I'm gonna be shit.
I tend to do a main layer of mozzarella and then a lighter layer of Colby Jack / Fiesta blend. Getting on there gets the nice coloring, gets a decent selection of cheese. Of course, you can squish it down a bit if you need to. It also brings out the crust a bit more. And now your toppings. which I'm not going to tell you about your topping.
You're laying this out in the format.
I mean, honestly, I was doing this even before I started working there at any pizza place.
That dog.
Yeah. It's a good way to format it. However, whenever I do it, I place far more on there than the other places. Oh, by the way, fuck this corporation. Now you can't say it's sponsored. Oh, that is just my opinion. Now you can't sue me. Right, and bacon. We could cut this, or we could do it the lazy way and just kind of tear it up. The bacon gets you turned on.
I've been turned on for a while. That just finished me out.
Well, there's some wet wipes in the bathroom if you need to clean yourself. Alright. Into the oven it goes. Hopefully, again, you've already pre-watched this, so you know that the oven needs to be set to 450 degrees. Either convection or not, doesn't matter, but convection will go faster. And since we're doing these 2 at a time, we're going to set a timer here for 16 minutes. If you're doing it alone, you just need 15. And a timer up here for 7 minutes. So when that goes off, we switch them.
What's the time if you do convection?
Same thing. We can do Ninjago lore later. Alright. Oh, good, or do you want it in for a bit longer? Alright. Now that we've taken them out and put them on here, now we cut it. My cutting is not perfect, but should suffice. Pizza is done. With that, enjoy. Or don't, because maybe you're secretly allergic. I don't fucking know. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you for for 1K. You guys wanted this. Join the Discord, follow Blue Sky, they're all in the description. I don't know. Bye-bye.